Hey, my name is May, like the month, and I'm 1 year sober, baby. It's fricked. How wild is that? There might be a piece of ginger in my mouth. It doesn't matter, because I'm too excited. Too excited. Today's video is going to be so easy breezy. I wanted to tell you about 12 things I've learned in the 12 months I've been sober. It has been an incredibly rewarding challenge, and every day is different. Take it day by day. But the fact that I've reached such a milestone is so empowering, and I feel jazzed to carry on in this journey. I'm just gonna get right into it, so let's go. I learned how to say no. I was such a people pleaser when I was drinking that I would just do anything and go anywhere that my friends or people that I didn't really know asked me to. You want to go to this party, May? Yeah, sure, I'll go. Do you want to take this shot, May? Yeah, sure, why not? Like, that was who I am. And when I became sober, I just realized that, you know what, I don't have to go out and I don't need to hang out with these people. So learning how to say no and just being so secure in the fact that if they're truly my friends, they won't care because I'll see them again eventually, just not that day. Number 2, find new hobbies. I was quite an avid drinker, to say the least, so I would go out quite a bit. So being sober, I realized I had so much time on my hands now, especially in the evenings. The evenings were tough at first. The first couple months I didn't know how to fill my time because there was so much of it. And what I did was I just picked up new hobbies. I tried everything once. What did I try to pick up? Embroidery, not good at it. Pottery, failed pottery in art school, so I don't know why I tried again. The things that stuck in terms of hobbies were definitely deep diving for new music. That's why it makes me so happy when you guys are like, May, I love your Spotify playlist. Just, ugh, my heart, the warm fuzzies all over. And working out. Before quarantine, I used to do this like strict routine, I guess, of spin, hot yoga, regular yoga, Pilates, and some kickboxing. I'm still unsure about kickboxing because my knees are completely shot, but during quarantine what stuck around was Pilates and yoga, and I do that almost every single day. So finding new things and discovering, passions and what can benefit my well-being was just amazing. Number 3, I found my chosen family and friends. This kind of circles back to number 1, where if they're truly my friends, they'll stick around. And before, when I was drinking, I thought everybody was my friend, right? But when I needed them, they weren't there for me. And I needed to realize that now that's totally fine, and just to make my circle smaller. I have a small group of friends now. They're my ride or dies. I would do anything for them and they would do anything for me. And even though they are not sober themselves, or most of them aren't, they still support me in my journey. They know that, like, okay, May will come out with us, but, she'll call it quits early, go to bed at 10 p.m. I wake up at 5 a.m. now every single morning, which is bonkers. But they never make me feel bad for not drinking. They will never pressure me into drinking or be like, well, it's just one shot, nothing like that. They know it's a hard limit for me. I am still being challenged in myself in terms of peer pressure. I find that I can give in quite quickly, so they just know. They never ask, and they will always have little things of sparkling water for me whenever we're having a get together or a dinner, and it's just amazing. It's amazing. They take me in stride because they knew me before when I was drinking, and now they know a different May, and they still love me, and I love them to death. I really, really do. Number 4, being sober made me learn how to deal with my problems head on. Any minor inconvenience or issue that I've had in the past, I would always just turn to drinking. I'd be like, okay, that kind of sucked, so I'm gonna have a glass of wine. And now I just have to sit in my feelings and I can't escape from them. And I find that it's such a different experience. I didn't really know how to deal with it or cope with it at first. I kind of lost my mind a little bit the first couple months I got sober because all of these realizations of like, oh, this is a shitty thing that I did, and this is like another person that I hurt when I was drunk, just like flooded me. But I realized that I'm making steps to better myself, and I need to learn how to apologize and admit when I'm wrong and let the feelings come to me, because my feelings are valid and I can't push them away any longer, otherwise it's just not healthy. It's really not. So I learned how to deal with my problems head on and just learn from it rather than run away from it. I guess number 5 kind of slipped into number 4. It was just learn how to say sorry, take accountability for my actions, past actions and present actions, and just to learn. I had such a hard time admitting when I was wrong. I blamed it on being a Virgo, and I still blame it on being a Virgo, but if I'm full out, full chest wrong, I now know how to say sorry, that I'm wrong, and there's no shame in admitting that you're wrong. It's uncomfortable, but my dad always said, when you're making yourself uncomfortable, you're changing, and change is good. And I find that saying sorry and putting myself in like a vulnerable state isn't weakness. If I'm wrong, which I rarely am, by the way, just want to put that out there, but if I am wrong, I will say that I'm wrong and I will move on. So number 6 is discover my body. A lot of people on my Instagram, they DM me saying, how much weight did you lose? Like, what's your goal weight? What do you want to look like? Honestly, I have no freaking idea. I went into sobriety to better my health, and my physical appearance was kind of like in the back burner because I loved the way I looked before. I was a little squishy in bits, but like, it was so cute. So cute. I was so soft, and it made me happy. And now my body is completely different. In terms of weight that I've lost, I have no idea. I just know I look different. One thing that I've learned is how far I can push my physical self. Before, I could barely touch my toes. I didn't work out. I didn't do anything. I just sat around being hungover, which is just, ugh. I don't remember the feeling of being hungover, and that is such a euphoric feeling. But now I challenge my body to push itself, to do all these headstands and, you know, get a sweat on and seeing what I can and I can't do, and whatever I can't do, I will try. And I will practice until I can. So discovering my body in a way where I'm pushing my physical self is my goal, rather than changing my physical self, because I love the way I looked before and I love the way I look now, don't get me wrong. It's just, yeah, it's neat. Number 7 is I learned how to live for myself and not anybody else. I always kind of walked on my own path, or whatever people say, but I used to wear things that, you know, I probably wouldn't wear today, or I wasn't comfortable in, just because I wanted the validation of my peers or acquaintances, or for people to think I'm cool. Now I just learned, okay, you know what, it's fine to wear sweatpants and a baggy sweatshirt. You don't have to be loud all the time with like prints or anything like that. My face is still kind of crazy, and that's just how I like it. I do things because I want to, not because other people say it's cool. That has just taught me so much about myself and those experiences, and just rediscovering who May is at her core. She's comfy, she's cozy, she's a simple, sexy bitch. Number 8 is I learned that it's okay not to be fun. I stay at home a lot, and it's okay. I go to bed at around 9:45 and I wake up at 5 a.m. That's not really fun in a lot of people's eyes, but it's fun to me. I don't go out anymore. I really don't. Well, now obviously we can't go out, but before, I don't go out, I stay at home, and that just brings me peace. Going to bars and clubs and parties, you know, that was a good time. You get to meet new people and, you know, socialize and all that stuff, but I discovered the fact that I really am an extroverted introvert, if that makes any sense. I can chat it up and have good bants when need be, but at my core, I just want to go home. Number 9 is learning my limits. And this, like, I don't know why I made 12 points when there's really just 3 main points there. It's just figuring out what you can and can't do in terms of your mental space, your emotional labor, just being in a box and just knowing when you're about to hit that wall, if that makes any sense. Of course, for me as a person, I love to make myself uncomfortable. I love trying new things, But knowing, you know, when to call it quits at a party or at a hangout, or just knowing in your like mental space what is good and what's not good for you is something that I learned during my sobriety, and it's really cool. Actually, just like to tuning in on my brain. I'm like, okay, what are you feeling right now, May? And my brain could tell me. Rather than when I was drunk, I just didn't know. I was, what, 6,000 sheets to the wind? 3 sheets to the, what is the phrase? 2 sheets to the wind? A sheet to the wind? One singular sheet to the wind. Number 10 is my sleep schedule, and my eating habits have completely changed when I got sober. As I said before, I go to bed at 9:45 and I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I love being a morning person, and when I was drinking, I would wake up at like 12, 1 p.m., which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not who I am. I would always beat myself up when I got up late, and I would wake up feeling like trash, and I would eat so much because everyone's like, oh, burgers, or like any like hangover trick I would do, and I would just consume so much food, much more than I needed to. Everyone asked me, oh, May, can you do what I eat in a day kind of video? And y'all don't want to know what I eat. Straight up, I eat like so many bagels, I eat a lot of instant noodles, I drink smoothies, so there's my health, but what I eat in the day is very, very different than what you see on YouTube videos. Everyone's like having like their acai bowls or their like lovely poke bowls. I'm like, damn, that's expensive. And so I like eat the bare bones, really. Like my go-to meal is rice, scrambled egg, and a little bit of soy sauce on top. Yeah. For people who are asking for me to do a what I eat in the day video, I don't know if y'all are ready for that. Number 11, I learned how to be alone. I used to surround myself with people, whether it be like romantic or just platonic. I used to need to be around people because I couldn't cope with being alone, and that was really dangerous because obviously I would identify as that person, if that makes any sense. Like hanging around with them for so long, you get their traits, and I thought like, okay, like I need to be cool, I need to be fun, so I would just adapt myself into certain social situations, and that wasn't good at all. Being sober, I learned how to be alone and being okay with being alone and doing absolutely nothing. I can watch a Netflix show by myself and it's fine. Before I couldn't at all. I always needed just like to be constantly doing something just to get my mind off the fact that like, okay, you have underlying issues, you have underlying problems that you should probably deal with, but now I'm so at peace that I can sit and watch something, and it's enjoyable. And number 12, I learned how to love myself. That's it. That's the whole tweet. Being sober has been fun. I never thought that I would be 1 year sober. I originally started this out as like a dare, as a joke. And like, okay, well like my birthday is coming up on the 28th, so I'll get sober on the 5th, you know, break down my intolerance and then just have a rager on my birthday. That was the original plan, believe it or not. But now it's like, oh, it's stuck, and it's past my birthday and it's been a whole year. I remember filming that video of my 6-month sobriety, and I was in a pretty dark place, to be honest with you. And I said, I'm like, I don't have solid advice to give for people who want to go sober or people being sober, and here I am 6 months later, a full year, and I still don't have solid advice. I'll figure it out eventually, but right now I am just taking it day by day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to me rant. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I hope you have a great day. Bye.